Welcome, we are back with another episode of Zero to Hero, DPS edition. I wish I had some good news and could say we got Keystone Hero today, but that would actually be terrible news. You'd rather see me suffer. One of you even predicted it. It only gets worse from here, and you couldn't be more right. And with the number of keys getting bricked this episode, I'm seriously starting to question if this is even worth it. What hurts most, it's just simple mistakes causing all these issues, but we'll get to that. Let's kick today's episode off with some happy feet. I still don't even get this death. I legit had zero time to react. 1 minute I'm auditioning for a spot and Strictly Come Dancing, the next minute I'm being sent straight to the Shadow Realm. Sometimes this game gives you no time to react. It's so bad it'll have you dodging in real life. Oh my fuck. I dodged in real life there. Honestly, I don't even know what went wrong in this dungeon. My only excuse is just a lack of damage. We also wasted a lot of time during this boss because no one killed the guard, so I just got gratted down. They finished the boss without me, and with only 7 minutes left you'd think our tank would go all out. But no, he still pulled like a little bitch. We ended up wiping on the final boss anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. I tried my best to live. Hell, I even swapped into defensive stance, but it still wasn't enough. At least we got to cheer on our DK from the sidelines though. No loot, but we did get a 9 floodgate. And same thing again, 1 minute the key was going great, then bam, the healer dies. And everything goes to shit. How this demon hunter couldn't survive tanking this pack without a healer is beyond me. I thought you guys said priest healing was easy, but this guy was making it look rough as hell. Your self-sustain on Fury Warrior isn't great, so trying to live without defensives becomes a little bit tricky. Speaking of defensives, did this demon hunter even press any? I main DH, and I know for sure this dude had nothing running. Even if he used Immolation Aura and Demon Spikes, he still wouldn't have got 2-tap like that. His approach on the second attempt was even worse. My dude straight up zoomed in there and almost got one banged again. He lived, but I can't say the same for my healer. I wish I could say things got better from here and my DH soloed the pack, which he easily could have by the way, but no, this dude crumbled at the first sign of danger. We ran it back with another group, but again, pure pain from start to finish. On the second pack, the healer fell over instantly, and on the way back, he fell over again. This pull was a little bit spicy in my opinion. 2 surveyors can hurt, but really, it's just grouping up the whole pack that's a pain in the ass. I don't even want to talk about the rest of the dungeon. Our healer got ran over straight away, and with no battle res, the fight was just basically over. We did continue, but it was doomed from the very start. Also, watching my DK veer off to the right made me question what the hell I'm doing with my life. Watching him slowly run across the map to take a glider just to end up 53 feet from where he just was just insane. I wish this was the first time I've seen it, but no, it happened again with another group. Yeah, we're down to a 7 now. That 8 was doomed from the start. But if you're wondering how it failed, the healer didn't dispel himself on a bomb, so that blew up and killed everyone. But hey, at least we timed this 7. We still got no loot, but we did get an 8 priory. I know, I haven't had the best luck with this dungeon, but this group actually knew what they were doing on Baron. You see how easy this fight can be when you don't instantly soak? I really delayed taking that final soak, but the time was running out, and it looked like my hunter was never going to get a heal, so I just bit the bullet. I'm so sorry bro, it had to be done. As you can guess, the rest of the dungeon was fine, and we even got a massive upgrade, a hero track weapon. I wasted no time buffing this bad boy up. Let's take this thing for a spin and it ain't motherload.
Fuck out of the way! I can't see! There are cars there, motherfucker!
Oh, I forgot again. Sorry, Toby. Let's take it for a spin on this second pull. It's a bit long, so let's 2x this bad boy. Okay, even in 2 times speed this is dragging on. Let's just talk about what happened instead. We kicked off the third pull with 2 peacekeepers. And let me tell you, these bad boys do not live up to their name. They were straight up slapping my group. I have no idea how I survived. I think this is a good opportunity to talk about the target cap on Fury Warrior. Pulls like this are a shaman's dream, but for us, it's our worst nightmare. You could do your rotation perfectly and still only end up doing the same amount of damage as the tank. And when you're getting turned into a slime mid-fight, it doesn't help your case why you're doing no damage. But there's nothing I can do about it. Even if they changed it so you do reduced damage beyond 5 targets, things would be better. But in pulls like this where there's 9 mobs, only 5 of them take damage. The other 4 are left unscathed. I think that's right anyway. If I'm wrong, please do correct me in the comments. But from my understanding, that's how it works. This whole pull tilted me anyway. It was just a pure wiping fest. Every time I got back, I got turned into a slime and then reincarnated into a bitter man. And no, that's not the name of an anime title. That's just my life story. All jokes aside, somehow we still timed this key despite banging our heads into the wall for a solid 4 minutes. Now it's back to bricking a 9 Theatre of Pain. You can see these new weapons have made a huge difference in these smaller dungeon pulls. Hell, my damage was so nice I was testing out new strats mid-key. Just in case you didn't know, this gap is a goddamn lie. But on the topic of gaps, during all the boss fights and most packs, we were on top. Oh shit. We even finished the dungeon with almost 2 million total damage, which I guess is trash for some people, but for me it's a huge step up, especially considering a few episodes ago I could barely beat a tank. No loot again, but we did get a 10 motherload, and I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Not because I want to, because that's just how the dungeon went. What's been annoying me most about this whole challenge is I'll spend ages getting my key to a +10 just for a tank to come in and do some dodgy pulls and then leave. I mean, he was doing exactly what I preach. Slow and steady wins the race, and it was working. We had no deaths and everyone was doing good damage. And then we got to this part. He skips a pack to then suddenly pull it behind the house for zero reason. The tear gas comes out, the healer dies, and then he adds another pack on top of it. He dies, and then everyone else dies. The pack doesn't reset, so he runs back in, and instead of using Brand to stabilize it, he walks into the poison and dies again, then quits.
Bye, have a beautiful time.
But hold on, don't click off. It gets even better. I run it back as an 8 because I sat in queue for hours trying to form a group for a 9. Then I got a tank who runs in, pulls way more than he can handle, dies, respawns, and dies again. Oh, you thought we were done? We're just getting started. Roll the clip.
Force the fucking guy over pulls and can't handle it. I don't have anything to stop him.
Words didn't even need to be said about that one. We ended up swapping healers and ran his tank's 8 motherload. You'd think it would go better this time, but no, same exact thing.
As if he died. As if he died? Is he fucking shit? Oh my god.
We obviously continued because it was the tank's key, and then he goes and does this right at the end of the first boss. Honestly, I should have just kicked a few bombs into the boss and finished him off, but I was so tilted and just stuck in my ways. So I guess my own pride killed me here. We didn't time the key for obvious reasons. This tank struggled to live on any remotely difficult pack.
Of course he died.
We didn't get any loot or rating either, and I think this dude was flaming the warlock at the end. Which, to be fair, is understandable. His damage was like me from episode 1, but this is a 10, you gotta get your bread up. But on the bright side, we ran our 6 motherload, 2-chested it, and then immediately 2-chested a Dark Flame Cleft. So now we're back to 10. But first, I did some delves to try and get upgrades, and now we're looking like this going into a 10 Floodgate, which we immediately bricked. I didn't play so great, so let's talk about it. So my first death was just unfortunate. I got rooted as soon as I went in, and then double bombed. Could I have prevented that? Probably not, but these next few deaths I probably could have. During the second boss, our warlock died pretty early on. We were doing tons of damage to quick fuse, so we needed to swap. I marked the other boss with a skull, but I should have typed something too. Maybe tell him to focus the other boss instead. But our tank kept grouping them together, so we were slowly cleaving him down. I tried hard to focus Brunt, but after a while, the cleave killed quick fuse. At the worst possible time too. He spawned the bomb, and at this point, it was GG, because Brunt was never going to charge again. Instead, he just spammed wall up until We killed the boss right after this, but the time we wasted was just too much. Even during the swamp boss, I could have played it better. I didn't use Rallying Cry, which could have potentially saved my Warlock. I knew I had it up because I literally said it right after he died.
Should put Rally Cry on that one.
My next death was a classic. People just weren't interrupting, so the mobs were never grouped up nicely. So my dumbass had to run out and kick the mob, then run back in. But because I'm legally blind, I didn't see the frontal and instantly died. And you know the dungeon's rough when your warrior has the most interrupts. We also wiped just before the final boss. This pack is kinda hard, so I won't flame the tank, but you did have meta, bro. At least we got our best in slot trinket though, so it wasn't a huge loss. But now it's back to the hour-long queues. It got so bad I was begging streamers for an invite. And he said this.
I need someone that can time an 11. I'm gonna put an 11 in. And if I look at your score, and I look at your gear, I think to myself, it's not possible. I'm sorry. If it was to 10, I'd take you in for sure, Obey. So stick around, Obey. We're gonna get you in another time. Just give me a break on this one if you don't mind. I'm trying to get someone that can do an 11.
Fuck this guy. Hey, it's his loss. He missed out on some of the finest Fury Warrior gameplay. But I get it. Fury Warrior doesn't get much love these days. That's why it's one of the lowest performing DPS. After hours of begging, we finally got accepted into a key. This was our moment to prove we're ready for 10s. And it was going great until we got to Gold Chop. And that's when me and my healer made a fatal mistake. I thought he was going to do the hunt mechanic, but it turns out he's already done it. So I just gormlessly walked into death. We ended up wiping, but if we just lock in, we can still time this. Then the worst possible thing happened. We aggroed 2 more bone boys, and my little legs couldn't get there quick enough to interrupt. So we lost the DPS, then right after, we lost our other DPS. We managed to survive and kill off the 2 bone boys, but the run back cost us a lot of time. Going into the Zavwing with only 9 minutes left, the key was basically dead at this point. It didn't help that we wasn't stacking for the swords, and instead of kiting the boss away from the blades, instead we charged towards them, leaving me with no way to get back to the mini boss without the risk of death. But I just said YOLO and let right over them bad boys, and came out unscathed. We finally made it to the final boss with 36 minutes of pure pain. But to add more salt into the wound, once we got the boss to 50% HP, he did his big AoE explosion at the exact same time as the ad spawned, so the damage output was just insane. We survived it, but our pally didn't. It didn't take us long to join him though, because on the next manifesting death, our tank got a little overwhelmed and died to the tank buster. The next goal was just painful too, just easily preventable deaths like moving out of the frontal and popping any of your defensives on the scary bits. We got the hunter back up, but he soon died to the exact same mechanic. The rest of the fight was just long and tedious, but I'm glad we got it done and didn't wipe again, because this could have easily turned into an hour-long dungeon if we wasn't careful. We got no IO rating, but at least we got traded some loot, so it wasn't a full waste of time. But now it's back to not getting invited to keys. So instead, we ran our 9 Mechagon, which we easily timed so we can kick the next episode off with a bang, and hopefully get Keystone Hero. Until then, stay pumping. And as always, if you like the content, subscribe. If you made it this far, we already know you like the content, so subscribe anyway. Like, comment, all of that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.